Hi, welcome to Transmission Hour, Boston's best music. I'm your host, Tim Casey. Tonight we have a very special singer-songwriter for you, Jessie Hanson. We'll be talking to her later on in the show, but for now, let's listen to some music from Jessie Hanson.
making my way across the country. Can't help but think about you and about me, and how we make the perfect team. Well, the smell of your sweater is all too familiar. It's all the worn out, but that's all for the better, because it feels like you. And you are home to me, and you are home to me, and you are home to me. You're the perfect friend who always lends both hands to help me. It's hard to give favors as genuinely, but you don't seem to mind at all. Well, the more that I travel and I'm not around, please bear in mind that your heart is my town, and I'd love to stay there a while, 'cause you are home to me, and you are home to me, and you are home to me. Strokes, you only give what you give, but that don't work. When a cheat like you makes my life hard to live. Now I some strokes, our dreams do come true, but that don't work. When the money's gone, there's so much more to lose, and there's so much more for me to believe, 'cause I'm living my best completely unleashed, and I may be naive, but I'm gonna take you for the truth. Take you for the truth. Take you for the truth. We were once told to always follow your heart, but that don't work when the system you're in is so rigged from the start. We were once told to act like saviors, but you can't say when the people in need are standing on your cave. And there's so much more for me to believe, 'cause I'm living my best completely unleashed, and I may be naive, but I'm gonna take you for the truth. Take you for the truth. Take you for the truth. to follow. Leave it all behind and start again from zero. Look at that now, doesn't seem so bad. Well, all girl need hates on the side of Kilimanjaro. Not give a damn till the day after tomorrow. Wash my hands in only water I found. Digging for the truth, digging for the truth.
Welcome to Transmission Hour, Jesse.
Hi.
Hi, it was wonderful having you on. That was a really good show. In fact, I had seen you at Passim's when you played there. Mr. Kurt told me about that, and we all went to see it, and it was a great show. And your material is so strong that I only heard it that once at Passim's, and when you played it in the studio, I actually remembered all the songs.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was really cool. It's like, I've heard this. Of course I've heard it. You played it at Passim's, but I mean, it speaks volumes about your songwriting that I remembered it, months later after just hearing it once. So
that's
that was
awesome.
Wonderful, yeah. And you just finished a tour, a 2-week tour, and I had a feeling it was really local, but it seems like you went everywhere.
Yeah, I did a 2-week tour with a world music trio called Soul and Keel out of Boston, and we did a 2-week tour. It was a loop. We started in Middlebury, Vermont, down to Western Mass, made it out to Cleveland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Lexington, Johnson City, Tennessee, down through North Carolina and up through Virginia, all the big cities on the East Coast, you know, Philly, Baltimore, DC, New York City, and we're playing a show on Thursday.
Oh my gosh, were you playing on Thursday?
We're playing at the Lily Pad.
Okay, yeah. So you don't have to travel far for that.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad. So it's been good, and it'll be like a really great conclusion to kind of end everything back in the hometown.
Yeah. Was it like, you must have played just about every day?
Yeah.
Or every night?
Yep.
Yeah.
We played 14 shows out of 15 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you had a day off?
We did have a day off. We had a day off in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Anything crazy happen?
Yeah, lots of crazy things happened. I mean, the trio, it's Soul and Keel is two instrumentalists primarily, instrumentalists and singer-songwriters, and they're two now 26-year-olds. One of them had a birthday in New York City. And so it was just the three of us for this 2-week tour, and I'm 18 and I'm the girl, so the energy was kind of, it was just funny, and so a lot of goofy things happened. We met a lot of goofy people, did a lot of goofy things. Yeah.
Have you known those two other guys long, or?
No. Actually, we've only been working together since November of 2012.
Oh gosh.
But very fast friends. They're very great people.
Yeah, you got to know each other very quickly, I would imagine.
No, they kind of took up the brother roles.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Really nice.
Wow. I was wondering, you're not, like I said, those songs were so powerful. You're not your average singer-songwriter, especially when you throw in the violin and the loops and everything on top of this. What's your background?
My background is 15 years of intensive classical violin studies. I studied privately in Needham with a woman named Anna Kersunksi, and I've been studying with her, the same lady, for 15 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she has a very special place in my heart. So I've been studying violin since I was 3.5. And my parents are very musical people. They had a bluegrass band growing up, so I dabbled in bluegrass and traditional music. And then when I turned 10 or something around that age, my dad, who was a guitarist, he was like, I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar. So I got a little blue Washburn acoustic guitar, which I actually played.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that was.
So you got that when you were 10?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's acoustic electric, and it gets the job done. It has a nice little character about it. But I played guitar and I kind of learned how to do things, and I didn't sing a word. I hated singing.
Oh my gosh.
Until I turned like 15. One of my best friends, we joined forces a little bit. He's a really great guitarist, and we had always kind of joked about like being in a rock band together. It's like, I'll play electric violin. And then one day I sent him this guitar riff, and he created kind of this poetic line, and I sung to it. And then I guess things just kind of happened from there. And actually the first time I really sung, it was for Christmas. I didn't have any money to get my sister a present. So there's this song by Dave Matthews called Sister, and it's a song written for his sister. Yeah. And I really loved it. And so I played guitar and I played violin, and I needed to get the vocals out there to get the song across. So that was the first time I sang. And my sister cried.
Oh, well, it worked.
My sister cried, and that was the first time that I found out that I could sing, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really an interesting thing.
Oh, you're a great singer.
Thank you.
Incredible. And I can't believe you put off singing till you were 15. I would have been singing when I was 4 if I were you.
I mean, my mom made me do like the Pro Musica choir when I was like I was homeschooled when I was younger, and so I was 9 years old. And I only did that for a year, and it was easier to sing in a choir because my voice was blended in, and so it didn't really mean anything to me. But even at campfires, we would do campfires every year, and they want to sing these songs, and they go, Jesse, sing this part, and I'll be like, no, I don't want to sing. I was really, really shy about it.
I moved to this town a long time ago. One day I'm gonna leave this, I've come to know. And every day is changing, but I'm trying to take it slow. So whatever goes, whatever goes. And I grew up the youngest in the family, to watch my siblings grow and live their dreams. Now I can say the same for me, but I'm excited to see whatever goes, whatever goes. 'Cause life is not a plan, not at all. When you try it with both hands, not alone. And sometimes the best thing you can do is to simply try. Whatever goes. And sometimes I find I think way too hard, without following logical reason on my own heart. And the more advice I seem to get, the faster it all falls apart. So whatever goes, whatever goes. 'Cause life is not a plan, not at all. When you try it with both hands, not alone. And sometimes the best thing you can do is to simply try. Whatever goes, whatever goes. 'Cause I'm at the age of constant uncertainty, and with every blank page, the story comes unraveling, and I don't know the countdown to how many years we've got. It may be young now, this train's not little girl. Oh, I'm standing here in the middle of Main Street of this Massachusetts town I've gotta leave. It's been one hell of a ride. It's been the best of my life. Mr. Anonymous, it's really quite obvious. I think about you way too much. And Mr. Anonymous, you might be oblivious, but I think I have a little bit of a crush. And I know you live far away, but in my heart you'll stay. Oh, Mr. Anonymous, I think we should get in touch. And Mr. Anonymous, I'm really quite curious of what you might think of me. As Mr. Anonymous, I tend to be erroneous, but if you saw me, you would think I'm pretty. And I know you barely know my name, but in my heart you'll stay. Oh, Mr. Anonymous, I wanna show you what I mean. Mr. Anonymous, for the sake of all of us, would you help me make my wish come true? 'Cause Mr. Anonymous, my mind is unanimous with what my heart believes we should do. And I know you might get away, but in my heart you stay. Oh, 'cause Mr. Anonymous, you make me feel so brand new. Oh, Mr. Anonymous, I think I'm in love with you. Darling, I'm sending you a message. No, we haven't talked in quite some time. I guess you can call it desperate, but my friend, I'm just looking for a sign. See, things have been a little lonely. Lonely doesn't really cut it. And I've been thinking of you, honey. All those things I did, I shouldn't have done them. And even though I'll be sleeping by myself, I'll be still dreaming of you. And I know it's probably bad for my health, but I'm still in love with you. I don't know what to do. Dear friend, did you get my letter? It's okay, you don't have to reply. I'm sure things will get better. They all tell me to give it some time. And I've been traveling around to get my mind off of it I left behind. Just remember when I said your heart was my town, I wasn't lying. And even though I've been I'll be still dreaming of you. And I know it's probably bad for my health, but I'm still in love with you. And I don't know what to do, still in love with you. I know I tend to criticize, I know I tell those little lies, but I also know what I need and what you mean to me. I didn't mean to desert you, didn't mean to hurt you, but I barely know what love is. And even though I've been sleeping by myself, I'll be still dreaming of you. And I know it's probably bad for my health, but I'm still in love with you. And I don't know what to do, still in love with you. Darling, I'm sending you a message. I know we haven't talked in quite some time. Guess you can call it desperate, but my friend, I'm just looking for a sign, looking for a sign.
How do you write? How do you get inspiration for a song?
Well, I've kind of thought about that because sometimes it's just a brainless process until the lyrics come in. And because I've had such a strong musical background, you know, with the violin for 15 years and then picking up guitar and cello and viola and took harp for a while too. The music comes to me first, and actually some of my favorite songs that I've written, the ones that kind of stay in my head the most, are like melodies that come to me like a radio wave almost. It's a really weird process where I'll be like doing laundry or something, and I'll, you know, stand up and I'll be like, oh, that's a really cool riff. I should like record this in my voice memo and then just go back to it later and see if it makes sense. And then what happens from there is that depending on kind of the tone of the music, I figure out what the song's trying to tell me, what I should be writing about. And then kind of figure out the storyline from there.
That's great that most people have the technology to grab it quickly before it goes away, because I had a feeling you'd just drop everything and start writing.
Yeah, well, there are two songs on the album especially, which is Sojourner Truth and Killer, and I played both of those for Transmission Hour. Those are both like radio wave songs that I was telling you about, and I didn't actually use a voice memo for either. Because I also have a philosophy that when you have a melody that's stuck in your head and you think it's really good, if it comes back to you, that's when you know that it's something that you should really kind of invest time in. Yeah.
Well, actually, I wanted to talk about the technical aspect of the looper that you're using, because I've seen people use loops and stuff like that, and I just don't get it. So you capture the first loop. Did the other loops automatically line up in time with it, or you have to get just good at it?
It's a combination of both. Yeah. The first loop is by far the most important. Yeah. Because what happens is that if you can kind of get away with a couple milliseconds of leeway. Yeah. But if it's if it's like a half second off, the whole thing's destroyed, and then you have to do it over again. Oh gosh. So that first loop is really important. You want to make sure that it's right on the beat that you want it to be. And then the loops after that, there's an internal clock in the specific looper that I have. Okay. So it's not like things kind of get out of sync. So it's nice. That makes things a little bit easier, so you don't have to, get it on every time. Although you want to be as precise as possible. Yeah. Otherwise, just the whole thing
falls apart.
Whole thing falls apart.
Well, I've seen you play twice, and it hasn't fallen apart yet. So.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I like to think that I've gotten really good at covering it up. I've gotten to the point where I can just doodle on the violin and then fix everything with my feet.
Oh, that's great. That's good. You're editing at the same time you're
Yeah,
playing them.
no,
Wow.
it's a little difficult.
Father, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave home. But I'm getting older and the world's getting colder, and I'm still not very sure what to do. But after all, we're all the same. Take these words and it'll be okay. So be kind and be honest and do good to others. Now that's what my daddy used to tell me. And do a good job every day and love your life. And if we follow these words, oh, and if we follow these words, we'd be alright. Now the same man who told me that love's like a river is the same man who could prove it. He said love will keep going like rivers keep flowing. They never pick or choose as they're growing. 'Cause after all, we're all the same. For a stranger, he is nothing but a name. So be kind and be honest and do good to others. Now that's what my daddy used to tell me. And do a good job every day and love your life. And if we follow these words, oh, and if we follow these words, I know life's not easy. No, it's not. No, it can't. No, it won't be. But I think I'm ready. Yes, I am. Yes, I can. Yes, I will be. And if I need something to help me, I'll take these words from my daddy. So be kind and be honest and do good to others. Now that's what my daddy used to tell me. And do a good job every day and love your life. And if we follow these words, oh, and if we follow these words, we'd be alright.
How many albums have you released? I don't know if it's just one or is
It's
it
just I just
the
released
one?
my first one
Okay.
in January. Yeah, no, I've only released one album with all of the songs that I've composed in that time, in that like 2.5, 3 year frame.
I mentioned that I did see you at Passemes, and that must have been a thrill.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and everybody that like I loved was there, and then there were new people there. That was really
That's
thrilling. And I think it says a lot. It meant a lot, at least, that the place was filled. It was packed.
Yeah, that was packed.
And Passemes means a lot to me in general. Passemes is very supportive of folk music and traditional music, and I love playing traditional music.
Which brings me to, well, let's talk about some of the songs. The Some Boy and the jigs that you did.
Yeah.
Um, does that have anything to do with like your father and mom's music at all? Or?
Actually, kind of. Because my parents, they play bluegrass music, and if you're familiar with trad music, I mean, a lot of traditional music is very intertwined, and bluegrass derives from a lot of Scottish and, you know, just an overall Celtic music. And so I had kind of grown up with Irish music. My mom and dad both enjoy Irish music. They don't play it. And I would go to these festivals where you would see things overlap. Actually, the Lowell Folk Music Festival has a lot of fiddle workshops where they show fiddle music from all kinds of regions, and that kind of started a lot of stuff for me. But recently, let's see, it was when I quit BYSO. But after I quit BYSO, I got really into traditional music, and I started doing Scottish music programs out in Boston Harbor. And then, you know, smaller programs out in like Western Mass and stuff. Yeah. And so actually the Celtic community is very small and very integrated. And so when you go to a couple of these camps, people become really familiar, and it's a really nice community to be in. Yeah. And the thing about Celtic music that I love the most is that it's so flexible. And so Celtic players today are starting to really kind of fuse things with like Celtic jazz, Celtic Latin, Celtic whatnot. And so that's what I tried to do. I kind of, in some way or another, I tried to funkify Celtic music. Because the melodies are great. You can put whatever backings you can possibly imagine behind it. So it's a lot of fun.
Who is Mr. Anonymous? Do you even know? Because I love that song. And I was like, who's she talking about even?
You know, so the deep truth is that it's about John Mayer.
John Mayer?
John Mayer, of all people. I have a really, really deep infatuation with John Mayer. And I kind of conjured that song when I was out in LA. Like the song idea came to me, and I ran with it a little bit. But I mean, it's a little bit of a reflection of my personality. I'm still a teenage girl, so.
Oh yeah, and you get to be one for a few more years. So, you know, enjoy it. It was funny because I really enjoyed it, and then I thought, I wonder if she really has no idea who she's singing about there. But no. I guess okay, you had someone in mind.
No.
And the song "These Words," which is one of the ones that just stuck in my head from the show at Past Seams, and then you did it again, Transmission Hour. Your dad must be a really, really supportive person.
Yeah.
And your mom.
Yeah, no, my parents, I probably don't give them nearly enough credit as they deserve. Just like, you know, any child can say that. Any person can say that about their parents. But especially mine, you know, they have their different ways of supporting me. I mean, my dad actually used to be a professional musician back in his 20s, and he would just hitchhike all over the place and play banjo and guitar, and he kind of had that exciting career, that kind of exciting taste of life. And you know, my mom is my mom. She's a really big supporter of mine and would do anything, I think, just to make me happy in general. But my dad, he's filled with a lot of good wisdom and a lot of good words. He's a very strong-hearted person, if that makes sense. Yeah. He has a very big heart. Yeah. My whole family does.
Well, I could tell. I met your mom at the studio that day. She was wonderful.
Yeah.
She seemed really behind you 100%. Yeah. You know, everything in between was so impressive. But where'd that song come from? It's just so lush.
That song, in some way, it was a combination of things. It was a combination of the radio wave going off, and it was a combination of a class that I took at a Celtic school, like the Boston Harbor. Yeah. There's this man named Keith Murphy, who's a really amazing folk writer and guitar player out of Vermont. I think he's actually from Newfoundland, but he was teaching this class of dadgad, which is the tuning in a lot of folk traditional tuning. It's a D-A-D, G-A-D. Yeah. Pretty self-explanatory.
Nice open strings, yeah.
And he played this progression that for some reason really like warmed my heart, and so I took it and I altered it, like I switched up the progression of the chords and just kind of switched it up to my liking. And then what happened is that I was playing the progression, and then the fiddle tunes, the actual melody that I play with the fiddles, came into my head as that was happening, and I was like, I want to incorporate both, the lyrics and the fiddle tunes. And so with the looper, that was made possible, and actually I've loved the way that song has evolved since I first started it.
No one for God, nor for Jesus, but I'm glad that there was some to believe in. No one for conflict, nor for war, but I'm glad that they show what's worth fighting for. And if you really think about it, and if you really think about it now, there are plenty of things to be glad about. No one for heartbreak nor divorce, but had my dad kept his voice, I wouldn't have been born. No one for endings nor goodbyes, but you can wave hello again if you give it good time. When you really think about it, and when you really think about it now, there are plenty of things to be glad about.
How can people keep up with what you're doing? Would you have a web presence?
Yep. I'm pretty active on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And that's facebook.com/Jessie Hanson Music.
Okay.
And then I have a website that has all my information on it, and I have a mailing list. I send out monthly newsletters. I like to think that, I'm a millennial. I keep up with the technology.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to play out more and more. And what's helpful is that I play with other groups a lot too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on our show.
Thank you so much for
It was great
having
having
me.
you. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from you in the next 30 years and beyond that.
All right.
So thanks for being on the show.
All right. Thank you
Jessie.
so
Thank
much.
you. Well, we hope you've enjoyed Jessie Hanson's music as much as we have here at BNN. Keep your eyes open for the next transmission hour, where we'll bring you more of Boston's best music. Until then, I'm your host, Tim Casey. Thanks for tuning in, and keep watching the skies.
Let's start from the time she was 17. She didn't know a thing about empathy until you came around and showed her how to shut it down. You told her you loved her most every day. Who would have thought it would end so abruptly this way? It's true, she didn't expect that from you. But don't you dare let her go. It's difficult enough when she's trying so hard, yet nothing shows.